Hey guys, and welcome to my first tank review that I'm going to be putting on this channel. So, here we have the IS, the Tier 7 Soviet heavy tank for the Soviet heavy line. The defining factors of this tank are the high alpha gun, and I guess you could consider the speed a strong point. It can move actually pretty well. The armor I would consider mediocre at best. So as you can see here, down here, I have a 54% win rate in it, and this is I think I had like a 48% at about 80 battles, and then I sold the tank a long time ago, picked it back up I think yesterday or 2 days ago, and brought it to 54% and brought up the mark from I think 54% to 82 within the course of about 30 battles or so. Oh, closer to 40 now. So that's not important though. I only have a rammer mounted on the tank at the moment, but I'm planning on just waiting until I have the IS-3 research, which, as you can see, I'm not too far. I have 54,000. I only need, what is that, 23,000 more? Yeah, without free XP. So, alright, let's take a look at the stats. It has 1,230 hit points. That's it's workable. You can definitely trade, which is kind of what you want to do with this tank. It's fairly heavy, so ramming can be an option. I wouldn't recommend it because ramming is kind of meh anyway. 700 engine power. That's very healthy. Like I said, this tank it's surprisingly mobile. I mean, I don't know. It caught me by surprise. The hull armor is 120 at the front. I'm assuming that is this bit here, but it could be this bit. I doubt it though. It's probably this bit. The turret armor is 100 millimeters. The turret is very underwhelming. You can go hull down in it, but the commander's hatch and even the cheeks are pennable. You just gotta be careful about that. Sometimes this thing has really trolly front armor, but not usually. You gotta be careful about angling it because the slanted front here, as you can see. So if you angle at 45 degrees, they have a flat side. If you go straight on, they have another flat side, and if you go the other way, and obviously if you're sideways, you know, rip. The rate of fire without 100% crew is very bad. It's I think like a 13-second reload, or like a 12-second reload for a 75% crew. With 100% crew though, and I don't have BIA or anything like that, or vents or anything, or food, I just have I think it's 10 seconds, about 10.8 I think, maybe 10.5. It's actually surprisingly good. I don't know, this tank is very odd in my opinion. Like I said, the 390 alpha damage gun, that's a big aspect of this tank. You can just pop around corners, pop people in the face, fall back for 10 seconds, and then do it again. Now the penetration. This is one of the bad things about the tank, in my opinion. 175 penetration. It's not great. It's really hard to work with, especially with a gun that has 0.46 accuracy and 3.4 second aiming time. It's really difficult to, you know, aim your shots and put them into weak spots when your accuracy is 0.46 and with a 3.2 second aiming time. The rate of fire, like I said, it's pretty good. Turret traverse speed, it's nothing spectacular. It's not bad, but it's not spectacular. V range, it's mediocre. It'll do the job, but it's not great. Yeah. And signal range, who cares about that? Alright. The gold penetration, it actually does save you a bit. I think it's 217. I think it doesn't tell me here because, you know, it gives me ranges, which I don't. Oh yes, it does. It's right here. Yep, 217. Okay, cool. And the HE round, it can work. I only have one to reset cap if I really need to, but to be honest, I probably should unload it because the only way I'm gonna have an HE any way to use an HE round would be if I'm either fighting like a Rheinmetall or a Sturmill or something like that, or like I said, I need to reset cap, but that takes 10 seconds for me to reload it, so yeah. Alright, that pretty much does it for the garage view. I mean, for crew skills, I would recommend 6th Sense, because it's you need 6th Sense on every tank, really, to be honest. At least I do. I like to know when I'm spotted. That way I can fall back and not get shot at. Repairs, that's very necessary. I get tracked in this thing all the time, and it gets really, really annoying, so yeah, let's go take a look at some gameplay. Alright, so we have ourselves the first replay. This replay is going to be a bit more of an average, well, not average, it's going to be a bit above average. It's a pretty decent game. It wasn't anything spectacular. I think it was like first class, maybe a second class, I don't know. I can't remember. I played this game earlier today, and I thought it was decent, so I figured I would put it in as kind of like a middle ground for how this tank will perform. So I'm just going to switch to this camera, that way I can actually have the way I usually play. So this is actually a very aggressive play. It can work, but I figured I got here pretty quickly, so I can go ahead and take a look, see if there's anyone there. Now this VK4502A, he makes a big mistake. He could have had the first shot advantage, but he gave it up when he backed off. I guess he doesn't want to trade with my big alpha gun. But once I see this IS-3 go, I know I have to support him. So what I do is I wait for him to turn aside, shoot him inside, almost 400 damage that fast. And I'm about already halfway reloaded. So this tank, it can really put out some hurt really quickly. It's actually surprising. I didn't think the DPM potential was going to be very good. And it probably isn't, but it's probably just the feel of having 400 damage every 10 seconds. So this gun got in my way, but I just YOLO snapped it because who needs to aim? I'm in a Russian tank. So I take a look at him, but I see he's falling back, so I can't get a shot on him. This is where I make a bit of a derpy mistake. I look at the map, I see an Oni, and I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. Okay, whatever. He killed my driver, didn't realize it. I take a YOLO snap at the artillery, thinking, hey, Russian gun might work. It didn't work, as you can see. The Dicker Max, he's in a strange position. I've seen that position be used, but it's kind of a bad position in my opinion. The Oni, again, I didn't want to get shot by his gun, so I just snapped, hoped that it was going to hit a weak spot. It didn't. The IS is weird sometimes. Sometimes you can pull off the most stupid shots that would never work, and I tried to make this one work, but it didn't. It got close, but it didn't. I see the KV-85 getting pushed by the Carnarvon, so I know that I have to go help him, and this IS-3, let me just make the map smaller. This IS-3 next to me, he knows that he has to help as well. I didn't really aim that one too well because, to be honest, I wanted to get the full damage shot out of it. 355 still not bad, but yeah. So this Sherman Jumbo, or as I like to call him, Sherman Fatso, he blocked my shot there. I saw that the Dicker Max was falling back, and I didn't think I was gonna have time to aim the rest of the shot, so I just again YOLO snapped it. I do that a lot. I probably should aim more, but hey, I did pretty decent. So this Dicker Max, I don't know what he was doing. I think he was drunk and high at the same time, drinking champagne on the airplane. No. So I see him. I know that's a kill for the team, so I go grab it. This T-37's AFK. What I could have done was actually go and helped the Oni against the Oni and the Carnarvon, because the T-37 was AFK. He's not going to do anything. But I didn't, because damage. So I come back and I see this Carnarvon, so I steal the kill, because a kill is better than no kill. So I'm on 4 kills now, and now I just gotta go finish off this Oni. Oh wait, oh, the Sherman got him. Rip. So I have 4 kills. Let's see if we can go get the artillery. It might happen. See, I made a big noob mistake here. I I saw that the artillery was driving towards the 1-2 line, but I really didn't think. So he got away, and then artillery, counter artillery, that artillery, because he was camping too hard, and that was it. The IS, it's a really good city brawler, but, and that's kind of important, but you have to be able to use your cover efficiently, because if you don't use your cover efficiently, it's just gonna go downhill so fast. I've had multiple situations in tier 8 and 9 games, which usually those situations happen because the IS can't penetrate anything at tier 8 and 9 that has a lot of armor, such as the T-32 is really annoying. Even though if you shoot at the lower plate or the minigun port, you're either going to miss the minigun port or you're just going to bounce the lower plate because it's still actually fairly strong. Don't even talk about E-75s, good god. As long as you use your cover efficiently, so you pull around a corner, shoot someone in the face, and then drop back, you should be okay. That's pretty much the only thing you gotta do in this tank. Alright guys, this is the next replay. This is a game on Sacred Valley, and Sacred Valley is an interesting map, because if you have an encounter game like this one is, the heavies can go the BC line fairly quickly down this portion of the map here, because you already have the control of this part of the map, which is, in my opinion, one of the most important parts of the map, especially on a standard battle. So as you can see, I'm rushing into position here because I need to get dug in quickly. If I look at let's take a look at their lineup. So their top tiers include a Panther 2, I can pen that. A Pershing, I can pen that. T-44, I can pen that. Ferdinand, I can pen that, but I would have to aim for the weak spots, and this tank's pretty inaccurate. ISU, I don't know, I might hit that mantlet of Stalinite. The ISs, I might have some trouble, but other than that, everything else here I can pen, especially that Hetzer, I didn't see that. So, what I'm doing is I'm rushing into position because I know that my gun's going to be very effective down here. And if those heavies have any sense, that they will come here as well, because this is where the heavies need to be. So I can already see that there's an IS, so I need to be careful, because I don't want to get hit by that 390 Alpha gun. That would not be cool. So what I do is I just take the shot. I would rather take the shot and pull back, not receiving any damage, but not giving any damage at the same time, than to aim, take damage, and do damage. So I get really lucky there. That T-29 was over side scraping. He probably isn't an experienced player, and I lit him on fire with the engine shot. So I'm aiming it again, and fire, and another engine fire on the same guy. Poor guy. So I think that's pretty much a 2-shot. Rip. That's crazy. Okay. So I see that they're kind of stuck behind that little wall there because our massive squad of tanks behind me. So I push in on the Tiger P, the ISU, and the IS. So right now I just want to get shots on whatever I can that's closest to me without exposing much of my tank. So I shoot the Tiger P in the lower plate. It's an easy shot, and it's good. So I see it, the ISU fires, so I go out, I hit him right in the side. The gun depression almost messes me up, but I manage it. So I see that this IS is like trying to poke a little bit. So I'm trying to draw a shot from him. There he is. Shoot him right in that angled frontal plate I talked about in the garage. And now I see that the Tiger's trying to be all aggressive, so I just shoot him in the upper plate. So I go around, I see the Tiger P. I'm not sure how that one penned, because that looked like it went right through his mantlet, and that's not an easy target to pen. So I wanted to shoot the ISU to get him out of the game, but I couldn't. So what I do is instead I just overmatched the Tiger's turret, and he was angling it for me, so it's pretty easy. I guess the T-32 took out the ISU. Yep. So I go around the Tiger. Oh, that's 3 marks of excellence. Wow, that's impressive. Too bad he's about to die. Rip. So I leave him because I know the T-29 is not gonna. I mean, T-32 is not gonna have any problem with him, and I chase down the IS-2. I shoot him in the engine deck, hoping for engine fire. I don't get one. It's not a big deal. Not worried about it. So I just took my first hit of the game. It was the T-44 firing with the 122mm for some reason. Why, I don't know. The 122mm on the T-44 is like a sin. I don't know. It gets a super long reload. The gun handling's even worse than this. It's pretty awful. So I think that I'm just gonna let the T-44 go. I don't really care about him at the moment. So what I do is I go towards the castle through all these buildings to get some cover, and I see that the enemies are putting a lot of pressure on Cap, so I want to get over there. So I'm driving through. I'm keeping an eye out for the T-44 because I don't know where he could have gone. The T-44 is kind of quick, so he could have gotten up on that hill or not. That guy bounces my turret roof, it looks like. Yep. There's the T-44. Okay, cool. So I'm going to sneak up on him. And I don't aim that as well as I should have. I could have gotten a lot more damage out of that, but, you know, it's whatever. I see if I have a shot on the Pershing, or better yet, if he has a shot on me. I would much rather not have a shot on him, because that means he doesn't have a shot on me. Most of the time. So the T-44 gets behind cover, so I just say, okay, T-29 through the track. If anyone hits him, I get assisting damage. It's a win-win. So I'm just gonna chill and hit him in the engine. Easy pen. And that was that. 4 kills, almost 6,000 damage in the IS. The tank is surprising sometimes. It can be really good, or it can be really disappointing. It's more disappointing at higher tiers, even though this was a relatively mid-tier match for the IS. Yeah, but that's the ideal game for an IS. I think I've seen a couple replays of an IS over 7,000 damage, but I mean, my highest damage at tier 8 I think is 5.4k. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure at tier 8 that's my highest damage, and I just got higher than that in the IS. So yeah, anything's possible, really. This tank, it's so weird. It can be really good, or it can be really bad, like I said. Surprisingly, it's a decent sniper, unlike Prokhorovka and Fiery Assailant, stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, let's go back to Garage and just overview real quick. Alright, so the IS, where does it stand? If I had to rate it out of 10, I would probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. The only reason for that is that while it is a very good tank at tier 7 and even some tier 8 games, in tier 9 it is not up to par. It doesn't have the penetration to keep up. The T-29, for example, T-29 has 198mm of penetration on its AP rounds and 245 on its gold rounds, so it can pen anything it sees, especially with the gold round. Of course, generally that's what you see, is that it can penetrate almost anything it sees with the gold round. But the IS, on the other hand, it only gets 217mm of penetration with the gold round, and that's kind of unreliable. So the armor, it's mediocre at best. It really only bounces stuff, luckily. If you try to side scrape with it, you'll have to taunt them with the back of your vehicle until they either miss, shoot, and bounce, or just they don't shoot, and then you just waggle there like a fool. The turret, it doesn't really have much hull down capability. The cheeks can be penned sometimes by bigger guns, though it hasn't happened to me for a while, so that's not so much a concern. It's the massive commander satch that is about half the size of the turret. That's the problem. And seeing as you only have 6 degrees of gun depression, you can't really hill fight that well. It is surprising though. It can. I don't know. This tank, it's interesting. It can perform well, but it can also perform horridly. It can bounce shots. It can't bounce shots. It's, like I said, it's pretty mediocre. The gun, however, without the penetration, the gun is great. If it had more pen, it would be amazing. Or if it had better gun handling. But I'm not asking for a buff, because this tank, it got me my highest damage at tier 7, and I think my highest damage out of all my tier 8s. So yeah, it's, I would recommend getting it, but only if you're not going to be super excited about it, if that makes sense. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this tank, obviously. It's done some good things for me, like that 6k damage game. But it's also done a lot of bad stuff for me, like letting me down against KV4s and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm 2/3 of the way done with the ISU. I mean the IS3, sorry. And I'm excited for it. That's the tank that I'm grinding this line for. I don't care about the T10 or the IS7. So thank you for watching my replay review. I will probably be posting some more of these, because they're fun to make, to be honest. So yeah, stay tuned for the next one.